Hey there, I'm Radical Dreamer. I beat the game, I got the posters, I got the t-shirt. So I'm ready to review for you Final Fantasy XIII. Wait, I almost forgot. This review of Final Fantasy XIII is brought to you by Final Fantasy Elixir. It cures bullet wounds. It cures everything. The world of Final Fantasy XIII reflects our modern-day fear of terrorism. People capable of great destruction are on divine missions with no concern for laws or innocent lives. The government, playing on these fears, has begun rounding up and interning whole towns as potential threats, while the common people celebrate their increased safety. Final Fantasy XIII follows 6 people turned into these undesirables known as Ryushi by the godlike Farushi. As Ryushi, they each gain magical powers and a mission. Should they fail to complete their assigned mission within the given time period, they will join the ranks of the monsters as a mindless Shi corpse. Yet, even if they succeed, their bodies will become lifeless crystal statues for all time. Each character risks this suicidal fate for a personal reason. Lightning for her sister, Snow for his fiancée, and Hope for revenge. Despite what the ads may tell you, like Final Fantasy VI before it, 13 has no single main character, but rather a true ensemble cast. Snow, Fang, Sazu, Vanilla, and Hope all get roughly equal screen time to Lightning, and some, like Hope, get much more development. The relationships between each of the characters are shown through a creative series of flashbacks, interspersed between sections of gameplay. On the world map, the gameplay is like most RPGs. You run around, talk to people, and collect treasure. Like in Final Fantasy XII, there are no random encounters. You can see all the enemies on the world map, but unlike 12, when you touch an enemy, the game transitions into a battle screen. In battle, the game utilizes a modified version of the active battle system where you can input multiple commands at once. What actions you can perform are dependent upon what role the character currently is. There are 6 roles: Attacker, Blaster, Defender, Jammer, Enhancer, and Healer that can be selected at any time by doing an Optima change. Each character is proficient in 3 of these roles, with the other 3 being unlocked in a lesser capacity near the end of the game. For the first 25 hours of the game, you will have no control over the composition of your party. In this way, the game forces you to learn how to play with each role and each combination of roles. The roles, as well as the characters themselves, are leveled up via the Crystallarium system in the main menu. Simply put, it's a 3D version of the Final Fantasy X sphere board. You gain EXP in battle, and then spend it by moving from spot to spot on the board, increasing stats and gaining skills. Also in the main menu, you can preset 8 combinations of roles for quick Optima change. However, in battle, you only have direct control over one character. The rest are handled by the game's more than competent AI. By casting Libra, you can make the AI even better by teaching it the monster's weaknesses, which it will then expertly exploit. Libra, along with summons and special spells, uses TP. TP is gained by giving or taking damage in a battle. Also, at the end of a battle, you get a sizable TP bonus based on your score and rank. There are 2 types of enemies besides the bosses, strong and weak. The weak can be killed normally, but the strong have to have their defense broken by filling the chain gauge with a continuous stream of attacks and spells. Sneaking up on the enemies on the world map grants a preemptive strike and a full chain bar upon entering battle as well. The bosses are mean and brutally unforgiving, especially in the latter half of the game. Some will simply seem unbeatable, but rest assured, everyone has a trick to make it winnable. Not easily winnable, mind you, but possible at least. When I say the word hard in describing an RPG, I expect people to laugh and tell me to just go level up some more. However, in Final Fantasy XIII, that's just not an option. The reason is, the game consistently level caps you. After certain events in the story, an extra circle or 2 will open inside the Crystallarium. However, even if you're leveled up as far as you possibly can, the game still presents a considerable challenge. In case that wasn't enough of a handicap, the game also suffers from Persona 3 disease. If your controlled character dies, it's an instant game over. Apparently, the other party members are so lost without you, they can't even cast Raise to bring you back. Between the bosses and normal enemy blitzes on your character, expect to die. A lot. To offset player frustration yet preserve the challenge, the game allows you to retry after any game over for no penalty. You will load in right before the battle you died in, with time to go into the menu and adjust your strategy. In another showing of goodwill, there are over 100 save points in Final Fantasy XIII, at which you can save, shop, and even use monster drops to level up accessories and weapons.
On the graphical side, Final Fantasy XIII is beyond beautiful. The characters are as well rendered as any in the current generation. And the scenery, oh the scenery! It goes from futuristic cities to wild barrens, yet somehow never loses the feeling of a grand otherworldly fantasy. In addition, there's often a techno-organic theme running from the Farushi themselves to the forests and buildings of the world. Simply put, no game has better breathtaking views and more detailed backgrounds, which makes it all the more of a shame that it seems hell-bent on not letting me look at them! The camera is flat out terrible! Instead of giving me the cinematic fixed camera of Final Fantasy X or the fully controllable camera of Final Fantasy XII, we get a bastardized union of the two. Sometimes it's fixed, sometimes it's not. It won't let you strafe while turning the camera. Worst of all, it won't let you look straight up or straight down, thus blocking most of the scenery from view!
God, you made it so beautiful! Why won't you let me look at it?
On the audio side, I'm happy to report Final Fantasy XIII is fully voiced. Every line, every character. It's about time. The music is great this time out as well, and fits the world perfectly. I was surprised to find that many of the tracks even have a vocal line to add special emphasis to several scenes and areas. Hands down, this is the best Final Fantasy soundtrack since the 16-bit era.
It took me 60 hours to beat Final Fantasy XIII, and I expect to spend many more in mastering it. With its 4 simultaneous battle systems, it's as complex and rewarding as it is fun to play. Add on top of that stunning graphics and a well-told story, and you have a masterpiece in gaming. Lastly, I wanted to weigh in on something that's sure to ruffle a few feathers.
Final Fantasy XIII is linear. Indeed, very linear. In-game, it looks like you're just taking the clearest of many paths, but on the map screen, it looks like you're just traveling in a straight line. You see most locations only once, and can only return to 2 areas at the end of the game for side questing.
But why is being linear a bad thing? Must every game these days be a sandbox title filled with area upon area of nothing just to make the world feel bigger? Final Fantasy XII did that. It sacrificed plot for walking through empty map after empty map, and I hated it. If being linear best serves the plot and the overall gaming experience, there is no problem. I'm Radical Dreamer. Thanks for watching.
Are you sick or injured? Do you need help, but the doctors say there's no hope? Do you think only death will ease your crippling pain? Then buy yourself a can of Final Fantasy Elixir. It cures cancer. It cures everything. Action figures included in every box.